Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Like I said in my previous videos, I will be showing up here every 4 to 5 days. So first 10 subscribers, you guys are the real MVP. I appreciate you guys. So we are seeing this video because the videos have been coming up. So just keep subscribing to this channel and keep checking what we have here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that anytime I post, you will be the first to see it. Thank you very much. Keep the numbers coming up. What I'll be treating with you guys is the basics of photography, from the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. What we have here is the Canon 60D. In Nigeria, as a starter, anything that you can afford, as long as you know how to operate it, you will get a good, presentable picture. And your best work is your current work. That is why you are learning. And if you want to learn with me, hit the subscribe button and let's get on with it. Photography is the art and science of capturing light to create an image. Whether you are using a professional camera or a smartphone, you have to first of all understand the basics of photography. There are some basic skills that you have to understand to level up and to improve your skills. So that is what we'll be discussing going deep into this video, is the exposure triangle. And the exposure triangle consists of three settings that controls light in a photograph. The aperture, and the aperture, it controls how light enters into your lens. This is what we call a lens, and this is an 18 to 135 millimeter lens. We have the lower aperture and the high aperture. In lower aperture, that is when you have more light coming through your lens. What will that give you? It will give you a shallow depth of field. And what is the shallow depth of field? That is when you get a blurry background and you'll be having a f-stop of 1.8, 2.8, but my lens here have an aperture of 3.5. So the higher aperture, like that is when you have less light coming into the lens, and that is when you have a deeper depth of field. Everything will be in focus when using the higher aperture. So low aperture means more light and high aperture means less light. So it is just tawogun. Low aperture means more light, while high aperture means less light coming through the lens. The shutter speed controls how long the sensor is exposed to light. As the light is coming through the aperture, the shutter speed decides how long or how fast is going to stay or how slow is going to stay. The fast shutter speed freezes motion, while the slow shutter speed captures the motion blur. ISO measures the camera sensibility to light. We have the low ISO and the high ISO. Low ISO give you cleaner images and less noise, while the high ISO give you more light but more noise. What is the noise? That is when the quality of your picture has been reduced because of the exposure to more light. As you are controlling your aperture, your shutter speed, you have to be watchful of your ISO. So more light more light from the ISO will reduce the quality of your picture. That is when you will not be able to zoom that much before you start getting the noise, this blob and all of that. The quality of your picture will not be there. There are sometimes that you need to boost up your ISO, like the time you are shooting a nice picture and you need more light. And composition teaches you how to frame your shots in a kind of aspect that makes your photo looks great. And while taking note of that, there are guidelines to follow, which is the rule of third, the leading line, framing, balance and symmetry. The rule of third states that you divide your frame into thirds and place your subject along these lines at their intersection. So in this picture, you'll be seeing how the picture is following the rule of thirds. You can decide to break those rules though to enhance your creativity, but that is what the rule of third teaches us, to make your pictures catch the attention of your audience. When making use of the leading line, you use some natural lines to guide your viewers' attention to your image. That is telling a story with, like, there should be some kind of guidance that when they look at your picture, they know what to look out for. It makes it even more catchy. So you must take note of the leading lines. Framing your shot, you use subjects like windows, trees, and etc. to frame your subject. My sweetest part of this whole photography thing, lighting. Lighting is like a big deal for me because it is just what enhance and create, what brings out the beauty of your creativity. Lighting, using natural light, artificial light, everything is lighting, and knowing when and what type of lighting that suits what you are shooting. So using the natural light, main thing you have to take note when using natural light is to key into the golden hour, and that is during sunrise and sunset, to get that soft and warm lighting. The sunrise means when the sun is just coming up, like very early in the morning, 7 a.m. to about 8 to 8:30 a.m. in the morning. And when the sun is going out in the evening, that is the golden hour. Unless you intentionally want to get that harsh vibe, because that is you breaking some rules to enhance your creativity. You are intentionally breaking those rules and not following the basics. So intentional process comes with some intentional results. This is what I want. So, and the artificial light, that is when you experiment with lamp, flash, studio lights, strobes, and all of that. So we have a lot of them that you can use to get your pictures. So if you are watching this video, you'll be seeing a light is coming from here, another is coming from here. That is the combination of some lighting. And if you go to my previous video, I don't have that. That is to tell you how creative you can get with this whole thing. So also to tell you to go back to my video and watch where you are coming from if you are just joining us. Finally, about lighting, you have to understand the highlights and the shadows to avoid harshness and flat images, because those are the things you pay attention to. When you get to editing, that is when you have the dodging and burning. We'll get there hopefully soon. When you hear focus, it is not this focus. So the focus we are talking about, you have the use of autofocus and the manual focus. So autofocus for convenience, like you're at an event and you don't want to be wasting your time, to that is when the camera sets your image for you, give you that focus by itself. It is programmed on the camera. The manual focus give you precision, like you get to set your focus manually. So that is for the manual focus, just as the name implies. So you experiment with depth of field to isolate subjects and make them pop when using your focus. That is when you get to work with the depth of field. I'm still saying all of these things, but we'll still get to the practical. So stick with me and don't go anywhere. Fifth on my list is the white balance. Just as the name implies, white balance is you set your camera white balance to match your lighting condition. You can decide to use daylight, cloudy, fluorescent, and etc. there are a lot of effects when it comes to your white balance. So, and white balance is measured in Kelvin. Yes. Six on my list is post processing. Post processing, just as the name implies, post processing. After you are done taking your pictures, capturing your videos, what you are doing next is the post processing, and that is when you get to edit your pictures to get that desirable outcome. That is when you get to experiment and treat your pictures to satisfy your clients. So, and we have tools like Lightroom, Photoshop to adjust exposure, contrast, colors, and sharpness. Like that is where you get to edit your pictures. So I'll be practicing with Photoshop and Lightroom. I'll be posting my final works on Instagram. I'll be keeping you guys updated on YouTube about the behind the scenes and the process of my practice. Number 7 on my list is practice and experimentation. So this is where you get to shoot regularly to improve. You have to experiment with different angle perspectives and settings to find your style, because you have to know which style suits you. What do you want to shoot? What kind of images do you want to shoot? So if you want to stick with me on this channel, you gradually find out what I'm comfortable with at the end of the day and what I love shooting and what I will be shooting. So stay with me and don't go anywhere. My final word is don't stop learning. Stay with me. Let's learn together. You have to keep learning. Always review and criticize your work. Your best work is your current work, because that is how good you are at that moment. How do you want to be better? You have to keep practicing. Don't stop. Just keep doing it. Every areas of your life. This is not just about photography. This is just to tell you how you can stand up and challenge yourself that, yeah, this is what I want to do and I'm going for it. So I expect you to be a better person and stand up, keep doing your thing, and God bless you. That will be all for today, and watch out for my next videos. That is where I'll be practicing and experimenting everything we have discussed here so far, because it is these basics that we need to get good, perfect images, and continuous practice is what will now set us apart. Okay, this is the kind of photography this person is doing, and he's so good at it. So don't stop photographing, don't stop taking videos, don't stop editing photos. Keep practicing, and God bless you. Cheers, fam.